Good day! Let's study fractions. A fraction is a number that expresses part of a whole. To understand more what is fraction, let's hear the story of Randy. Randy baked a pizza. He wants to share it to his friends. Randy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 friends. But he has only one whole pizza. So for them to have equal share of pizza, we need to divide the pizza into 8 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each of them will have one slice of pizza. To express the part of a pizza each of one has, we'll do fractions. So each of them has 1/8 part of a pizza. That is fractions. Now, let's move to the parts of a fraction. This is an example of a fraction. A fraction has a numerator which represents the part of the whole being considered. A numerator is the number on top of the bar line. And a fraction also has a denominator. The denominator is the number of equal parts into which the whole object is divided. It can be found at the bottom of the bar line. We have different types of fractions. The common types of fractions are proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed number. The other types of fractions are similar fractions, dissimilar fractions, and equivalent fractions. Let's start with proper fraction. A proper fraction has a numerator that is less than the denominator. Example, this figure can be expressed into 1/4. 1 is the numerator and 4 is the denominator. 1 is less than 4. That is why this fraction is a proper fraction. Next, improper fraction. Improper fraction is a fraction that has a numerator that is greater than or equal to the denominator. Example, in this figure, it shows 5/4. 5 is the numerator and 4 is the denominator. 5 is greater than 4. Next, this figure can be written into 4/4. Both numerator and denominator has the same value. Next is mixed number. A mixed number is made up of a whole number and a fraction. Example, so there are 2 squares divided into 4 parts each and 5 parts are shaded. So we can say that the first square is a whole and the second square is 1/4. So we can express this into 1 and 1/4, which is a mixed number. 1 being the whole number, 1 being the numerator or the shaded part of the second square, and 4 being the denominator or the number of parts the square is divided. Next is similar fractions. Similar fractions are fractions that have the same denominators. Again, denominator is the number that can be found at the bottom of the bar line. So in this example, the denominator is 4. Both fractions have the same denominator, so they are considered as similar fractions. Next is dissimilar fractions. Dissimilar fractions are fractions that have different denominators. So, as we can see in this example, 6 and 4 being the denominators have not the same value. Next is equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are different fractions representing the same part of a whole. So they can maybe differ in numbers, but they represent the same part of a whole. For this example, we can see that we have two different fractions, but as we focus on the figure shown, both fractions represent half of the whole. So, they are equivalent fractions. Now, let's exercise. Identify the type of fraction being shown. Number 1, 3/6. 3/6 is a proper fraction. Next, we have 8/7. 8/7 is an improper fraction. 3 and 3/6. If your answer is mixed number, then you're correct. Next, we have 1/6 and 3/6. So as we can see, they have the same denominator, so they are similar fractions. Next, 1/6 and 3/7. The denominators are different, so they are dissimilar fractions. Last, 7/14 and 6/12. Okay, so when we put it into figures, we can see that 7/14 and 6/12 both represents half of a whole. That is why they are called equivalent fractions. Now let's have a review. A fraction is a number that expresses part of a whole. A fraction consists of a numerator and a denominator. A numerator is the number on top of the bar line, while the number at the bottom is the denominator. The common types of fractions are proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed number. While the other types of a fraction are similar fractions, dissimilar fractions, and equivalent fractions. So that's it. Now it's your time to practice. Have fun. Thank you and God bless.